Hey, what is going on, guys? It's AryA back again. In this video, I'm going to go over the operator mods in Black Ops 4 Zombies. The operator mods are basically weapon-specific attachments that you can put on when you level up your weapon all the way to the last level, and what they do is give your weapon a specific ability. Some weapons have operator mods, some don't. To be more specific, 18 out of the 34 weapons have operator mods. It's something new that Black Ops 4 has introduced, and it got people's attention in the multiplayer community, but I wanted to see how they worked in Zombies, so I spent a day or two playing around in game, and I found some interesting stuff that I wanted to share with you guys. The way this video is structured is that I'm gonna talk about an operator mod, and I'm gonna go as in-depth as possible, and at the end, I'm gonna let you know whether that specific operator mod is worth grinding for, or you should just basically ignore them. So I'm gonna review the mod and give it either a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and with all that being said, let's get right into the video. The first operator mod we're going to talk about is called EcoFire for the Maddox RFB assault rifle. The description reads, firing blowback system shoots each other bullet at an increased fire rate. And the thing that I found interesting about this operator mod is that it actually seems to decrease the overall fire rate, which is not something that you would want. It also increases the overall recoil as well, so that's another negative. And besides those, it doesn't make much of a difference anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and give this operator mod a thumbs down. Next up, we have the Vapor XKG bayonet. It's a one-hit kill until round 10. Starting from round 10, it becomes 2 hits. You seem to be meleeing just a little bit faster with this, and it doesn't have the regular melee lunge, so it's pretty smooth, and the melee recovery time is pretty quick. I pack-a-punched the weapon to see if that would make the bayonet any better, but unfortunately, it did not. Overall, this is pretty much a free Bowie knife on your weapon, and it's even a little better, so I'm gonna give the bayonet a thumbs up. Next, we have the Wildfire operator mod on the Spitfire SMG. The description reads, extremely increased fire rate, the hail of bullets increases weapon recoil and slows movement speed while firing. There's not much to say about this operator mod. It does increase the fire rate, but it does it to a certain degree that you're just gonna be wasting ammo, and it increases the recoil by a significant amount. The Spitfire already has the highest fire rate in its class, and I feel like this operator mod is not worth it, so I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. Next up, we have the SOG 9mm dual wield operator mod. There are two things to mention about this operator mod since it's pretty self-explanatory. One is that you will get one extra clip of ammo, but you can't ADS, so you're gonna have more ammo and be less accurate, which is fine in Zombies, but a single SOG with all the attachments is actually a lot more efficient than the dual wield version. It looks cool, but it's not worth it, so I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. Next, we have Quadshot on the GKS submachine gun. The description reads, converts weapon to fire a 4-round burst, also increases damage fall-off ranges. The thing is, the GKS is a wall buy on all the maps, and when you buy an SMG off the wall, you don't necessarily care about range, you just need a point gun, and that's what this gun is. It's a point gun. So turning it into a 4-round burst accomplishes nothing, and it's kind of pointless, so I'm gonna give Quadshot a thumbs down. Next up, we have belt feed on the Cordite SMG. The description reads, adds an extreme amount of ammo that is continuously fed to the weapon. Weapon may overheat from prolonged firing. This operator mod is pretty damn interesting. Basically, you get a lot more ammo and you will have nothing in reserve, but you can't just keep firing, because if you do, the weapon will jam, and then you have to wait through this 10-second animation of your character trying to unjam this weapon, and then you can get back to it. And looking at it from surface level, it seems like a really good operator mod, but there are some things you should know about before you try it out. The first thing I tested was what kind of effect stock option has on this operator mod, and I was kind of hoping that with stock option your weapon wouldn't overheat and you would just be able to keep firing, but that's not the case, so it makes stock option obsolete, so that was a little disappointing. Another thing you should know is that if you start firing and you don't stop, you can shoot 75 rounds before the weapon overheats, and if you have rapid rapid fire on, you can shoot 80 rounds before it overheats. So let's talk about the ammo count, cause it's a little interesting. Without this operator mod, the Cordite has 60 shots in the magazine and 360 shots in reserve, which is a total of 420 shots. With this operator mod, you get 420 shots, which is really strange because the description says it adds an extreme amount of ammo, but it really doesn't. It stays the same. However, when you go on multiplayer and put on belt feed, you'll see that it gives you 600 shots, which is presumably what we're supposed to get in zombies, but I'm gonna go on a limb and say this operator mod is pretty broken in zombies, and I'm gonna show you more evidence of that in just a minute. So basically, you get the same amount of ammo, you just won't have to reload. Instead, you'll just have to stop every now and then and let the weapon cool down. However, when you put on extended mags, it becomes a different story. The Cordite with extended mags and no belt feed has 90 shots in the magazine and 360 in reserve, which is a total of 450 shots. Now, if you add belt feed, you go from 450 shots to 800 shots. So you get a ridiculous amount of extra ammo, but only if you have extended mags on as well. Another important thing you should know about this operator mod is that the bandolier perk does not work with it. Not only does it not give you any extra ammo, it makes you lose ammo. It takes it away from you. So let me explain. I don't know if you've noticed, even though right now I have the Cordite with belt feed, it shows that I have 420 shots, but it also shows that I have 160 shots in reserve, which is not true. This weapon doesn't have anything in reserve. You will never reload this weapon, and once you shoot all 420 rounds, your character will just switch weapons because it's run out of ammo. But then you'll see that when I switch weapons, I have the MX9, which has 210 shots in reserve, and now when I switch back to my Cordite, it shows that I have 210 shots in reserve. This is pretty much a bug where you'll see the reserve ammo count on your other weapon on the Cordite whenever you have belt feed on. Now, I wanted to know how bandolier would affect the ammo count, so I bought the bandolier perk, and my ammo count, for whatever reason, went from 420 to 61. That's right, I lost ammo. This operator mod is so broken and so glitchy that it literally reverses the effect of perks. Overall, I would say this is not actually a bad operator mod, it's just broken at the moment. So I'm gonna give it a thumbs up, but if you want to use it, make sure you put on extended mags and don't use the bandolier perk. Or you could just wait until they patch it, but since you do get 350 extra shots, I would say that this is actually a good operator mod. Moving on to the next operator mod, we have Penta Burst for the Swordfish tactical rifle. The description reads, refitted burst mechanism adds 1 bullet to each burst, also provides additional ammo. As for how many extra shots you get, it's 8. And this operator mod is pretty good. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but since the Swordfish is a burst rifle, then adding another bullet to each burst can't possibly be a bad thing, and it does give you additional ammo as well, which is good, so I'm gonna give this one a thumbs up. Next up, we have the repeater on the ABR 223 tactical rifle. The description reads, advanced auto burst mechanism allows each successive burst to fire with a shorter delay as the trigger is held down. This operator mod is actually pretty useful since you no longer have to repeatedly press the right trigger to keep firing. You can just hold the right trigger instead. It essentially turns this weapon, which is a 3-round burst, into somewhat of an automatic weapon with a faster fire rate, which is pretty good. So I'm gonna give this one a thumbs up. Next, we have the double tap operator mod for the Auger DMR tactical rifle. All this operator mod does is to turn this weapon from a semi-auto rifle to a 2-round burst rifle. That's all it does. It doesn't help you with anything else, so it's kind of a lackluster operator mod. You'll just burn through your ammo faster, and it's just not worth grinding for, so I'm gonna give it a thumbs down. Next on the list, we have the Oppressor operator mod for the Titan LMG. It basically makes it so that the bullets slow down the zombies. But the thing is, they only slow down a little bit, and only for a couple of seconds. Since the zombies in this game are ridiculously fast and their spawns are so spread out, most of the time you'll be trying to kill them off by getting headshots. I could give this one a thumbs up, but it's just not practical. I know for a fact that people are just not gonna use this because it's just not worth it. It makes so little difference that you might as well use your other attachments as opposed to this one, because each operator mod takes 2 attachment slots, and the operator mod would have to be worth it for you to want to give up 2 of your attachments. So I'm gonna give this one a thumbs down. Next, we have the crossbar on the Hades LMG. The description reads, ADS is replaced with a focused hipfire that has reduced bullet spread and improved movement speeds. The problem with this one is that you still have to ADS. You still have to hold the left trigger. When I read the description, I thought you would just be able to hipfire and be super accurate, which is not the case. You still have to ADS, which kind of defeats the whole purpose. It's still a fun operator mod because you can move pretty fast when you're ADSing, but is it really worth giving up 2 of your attachments for? Not really, so this one is gonna be a thumbs down. Next, we have the Fat Barrel Operator mod for the VKM750 LMG. The description reads, fires massive shells that hit their targets easier. Now, I don't know if this one is just not effective or not active in zombies, or if it's just glitched out, but I didn't see any difference at all. It didn't do anything, so if it is active, then it's the worst operator mod out of all of them. So this one is definitely a thumbs down. Next up, we have the Strelok for the Koshka sniper rifle. The description reads, precision accuracy while entering ADS. This one might be a little confusing as to what it does, so I'm gonna do my best to try and explain that. Now, this is the Koshka without the operator mod. Now pay close attention to the crosshairs. You see how they kind of shrink when I'm ADSing? Now, this is the Koshka with the operator mod. Now, when I'm ADSing, the crosshairs shrink so much faster. Now, what does this accomplish? Well, when you're quick scoping, it makes it so that you don't have to finish aiming down sights to be able to hit your target. But without the operator mod, you have to finish aiming down sights to hit your target. Essentially, it makes quick scoping a lot faster and a lot easier, so I'm gonna give this one a thumbs up. Next, we have the Bolt Cylinder Operator mod for the Outlaw Sniper Rifle. The description reads, each bolt action now fires a 3-shot burst. Hold the trigger for auto bursts. This operator mod is useful because it turns a bolt action sniper rifle to a powerful 3-round burst rifle, and since this is zombies and obviously there's gonna be more spraying involved, I'm gonna give this one a thumbs up. Next, we have the Skullsplitter for the Mozu revolver, and according to the description, with this operator mod, headshots are always lethal. When I read the description for this, I was pretty excited to try it out because it sounds amazing. You could just go to a super high round and use this weapon to headshot all the zombies, which would be pretty amazing, but sadly, this operator mod does not work. It doesn't have any effect at all, so this one is gonna be a thumbs down. Now we have the Stiletto Knife for the Strife pistol. There's not much to say about this one. It's just like the bayonet on the Vapor, except that it stops becoming a one-hit kill at round 5 instead of round 10, which is still pretty good, so I'm gonna give this one a thumbs up. Then we have the Strobe Light for the SG-12 shotgun. The description reads, replaces ADS, pellets fired while Strobe Light is active have a chance to stun basic enemies. The stunning effect is just like Deadwire, except the zombies don't die and they don't absorb any damage whatsoever. This operator mod is not reliable since it only activates occasionally and you have to aim down sights to activate it, which is kind of pointless because why would you want a semi-auto shotgun if you're gonna have to keep aiming down sights? So I'm gonna give the Strobe Light a thumbs down. Next, we have the Dragon Breath Operator mod for the MOG-12 shotgun. The description reads, incendiary ammunition burns basic enemies and does extra damage to special enemies. This one does set the zombies on fire when you shoot them, and it's pretty consistent and reliable, and since we're talking about damage, anything that can help you do extra damage to the zombies is automatically a plus. So Dragon Breath gets a thumbs up from me. And that concludes the list of all the operator mods in this game. Let me know if you have any questions or comments in the comment section down below. I do hope you found this video helpful. If you did, make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.